Hi, now we are going to see about Verilog HDL. HDL stands for Hardware Description Language. HDL is classified into two types. One is Verilog HDL, another one is VHDL. VHDL means very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language. Now, in the difference between Verilog HDL and VHDL is Verilog is as like C language. Based on C language, they derived this Verilog HDL. VHDL is based on the Pascal. And the Verilog HDL is the case sensitive. That means smaller case and upper case treated as different cases. Then it is less complex compared to VHDL. Then the history of Verilog, if you see, in 1980, Gateway Design Automation Company, they developed the logic simulator called the Verilog XL and with HDL. Later in 1989, Cadence acquired this Gateway Design Automation Company. Then in 1995, Verilog HDL became an IEEE standard. Then in 2001, they revised this Verilog. Now, the objective of this Verilog session is we are going to learn all the Verilog constructs, implementing design using Verilog, like we are going to design combination circuits and sequential circuits like counter, FSM, pattern director, synchronous bit memory and dual port RAM, then watchdog timer. We are going to learn how to implement the functionality in Verilog, and as well as we are going to develop the test bench using Verilog. We are going to verify that. Hardware description language. This HDL has construct to support hardware structure and has construct to implement the concept of time, has construct to implement concurrently running process. These are all the features of hardware description language. These features are not available in C, C++ languages. How about Verilog language? Whether these features is supported by Verilog means yes, it has the construct to implement hardware structure using module with ports. We are using a keyboard module and end module. Within that, we are going to implement the functionality. So this is used to create the real hardware structure, and we have a predefined primitive like NMOS, PMOS, AND gate, NAND, XOR. All gates are available as predefined primitives. With the help of that, we can implement the actual real hardware of the gates or logic. And we have a concept of time using passage linkage. These keywords is used to represent positive edge of the clock. So, timing concepts we can implement, and concurrent process we can implement with the help of always port join. That means concurrent process, multiple process can run at the same time. That is able, we can able to create using Verilog language. Verilog can implement both concurrent and sequential flow of the execution specific to design needs. Based on the design needs, we can also implement as a sequential flow, step-by-step execution, or concurrent flow based on the needs. Hardware language basics. Hardware language execution, hardware design execution flow. So the design execution happens in 3 steps. First one is compilation. Process of reading the source code and analyzing the source code for syntax and semantic errors. Once the code is done, we need to do compilation first. So the processor We'll execute all read all the source code and we'll check for any syntax or semantic errors. The next step is elaboration. Process that binds model to model instance, build a model hierarchy, compute parameter values, resolves hierarchy name, establish net connectivity, and prepares all of this for simulation. While designing, we are not implementing the whole function in a single model. We need to follow some hierarchy order. First, we need to design the subblocks, then blocks, okay, then main block. So that hierarchy we should follow. So one model we implement, that model we need to instantiate in the top level model. So during the elaboration, it will check model instance are instantiated properly and the ports are mapped properly. If the hierarchy is built or not. Everything is checked during the elaboration stage. And parameter, if you define any parameter, that value will be assigned for that variable. Okay. So everything, these steps, this process, okay, will be taken during the elaboration stage. And simulation process by which the design model code the HDL gets executed based on the given execution model, given based. For example, based on the clock say event with reference to clock, everything, all the values are forced to the design, and we are checking for the expected output. This is called simulation. Has only static data types. In Verilog, all are static data types. That means static in the sense memory is allocated for data at the compilation time itself. During the compilation time itself, based on the data type what we declare, memory is allocated for the variables. Memory cannot be changed during the runtime. Okay. That's why it is called static data type. Hardware design requirements. There is a need for language which has construct to support the below requirement of hardware. Hardware language should satisfy the following points. Block with input-output ports. Then concept of state change with time, like FSM. For example, traffic light controller. Yellow for some time, then green for some time. It will change, right? So that facility should be there. That feature of implementation can be done with the help of the hardware description language. Another example, mobile phone will automatically it will change to sleep mode if you are not using for some time. So these type of implementation you can create in the hardware description language. Then implement concurrent running process, which I already told. Multiple process can run at the same time. Concept of time, can use delays, timing related things like the passage of clock in events, timing controls we have. Okay. Implementation of storage element, can implement a memory storage elements, arrays. Okay. That facility is there. So these are all the requirements. All these facilities can be, these are all the requirements, all this can be satisfied with the help of hardware description language. Now we are going to see the set of values available in Verilog. There are 4 set of values. One is 0, logic 0, or it represents false condition, logic 1, 5, that represent true condition. Then X is an unknown logic, Z is a high impedance level. In real life, there is no concept like X and Z values. It is only used for simulation purpose. So when we can use this X, when it will create means For example, on example, flip-flop output on setup hold time violation is driven X in simulation. So setup time means uh, value, input value should be constant just before the passage of clock. It is for setup time. It is not constant during the passage clock change. It will create a metastable condition at the output side. To represent that metastable in the sense, the output will be continuously vary between zeros and ones. Okay, to represent that, how we can represent that? The help of X, don't care or metastable. So in the same way, hold time. After the passage or negligence happens, after that the output should be constant for some time. If it is not like that, it will create a metastable condition. The block whose input is unknown. Input is Z. The unknown means Z. Any one of the input is Z. It will give the output as X. To represent that, we need this X state. Need for Z that represent the undriven port, floating. That means it is not connected to anything. So to implement the tri-state buffer, we are using this Z. When enable is 0, that means the tri-state buffer is disabled. At the time, output is not connected to the input. So that time output should be Z. To represent that, we are using with Z state. Then, how to represent a vector value assignment to the variable. For example, this is the general syntax: size, tick, radix, nothing but base, and the corresponding value. Bit 31 is 0 data. Data is a variable. It is a 32-bit vector. Okay. So for that, I need to assign a variable. The size of the variable is 32-bit. So 32, I am going to represent that in hexadecimal format. So tick H, and this is representing hexadecimal format. So radix, that may be a binary that we can represent with the help of small b or capital B. Octal, small d, capital B. Decimal, small d or capital D. Hexadecimal, H, small h or capital H. Then value, you can also return using number as per radix along with this underscore. It is just for readability. For example, if I write this one, tick 8 tick H AX. Okay, in hexadecimal, I'm representing this value in a 8. The same thing I can also mention in binary 8 tick B A, that in binary. So the binary to convert mean how we can represent in a 4-bit. So 0 1 0 1 0 and X 4 x's. To for readability purpose, we can introduce this underscore. Another example, 12 tick O 3 is a X7. The same we can represent in binary 12 tick B. Each value we can represent in 3 bits octal to binary. So 0 1 1 underscore Z underscore XXX underscore 1 1 1 7. Implementing connection in hardware. Okay. Connection in hardware are two types. One is continuously driven, another one is driven at discrete point of time. Continuously driven means whenever there is a change happens in the input, the output get changed. Okay. For example, I am passing a particular value to output. Okay. If I pass value 1 to output 1, if I pass a value 1 as an input, the output is 1. When I stop that one, automatically output become Z. But driven at discrete point of time. Here, the output is declared as a reach. Can hold that value. For example, I am passing value 1, I am driving 1 as an input, so output holds that 1. Okay. Now I stopped that 1 value, input 1 value. Okay, still the output holds that logic 1. But when you declare with the wire, when you stop that one, it goes to its default Z state. Okay. Here, the output driven at discrete point of time, the output should be declared as rich to hold the output value. But in continuously driven, the output should be declared as a wire. Or if you want to perform a AND operation, you can declare the output as a wire AND or wire OR and try data type. Okay, these are the data types you can declare the output variable for continuously driven. For example, so this we are going to see for continuously driven. We are going to perform AND A, B are input, Y is the output. So output should be declared as wire. And one more point, for a continuously driven, you should declare, you should use this assign keyword. Assign, that means it is continuously checking anything any changes happens in the right hand side, automatically the left hand side variable will get updated. This continuously monitor the sequence. Wire Y, then assign Y equal to A and B. Another way, you can also declare the Y output as, if you want to perform AND operation, you declare this as W AND, that means wire AND. And then you can write assign Y equal to A and assign Y equal to B. So it will automatically perform wire itself, it will perform, your just assigning the value to Y output. Since it is declared with W AND, automatically it will perform AND operation and it will hold, it will keep that value. If you want to perform W OR, that means wire or we need to perform. So you need to declare the output as WR. Then you can just assign the inputs to the wire Y. Automatically it will perform OR operation. Now here I need to you need to implement this try state. Okay. So try state means if I didn't make it 1, that means I disable this one. Output start connected to input. So output Y should be Z condition. Okay, when I make it DR as 1, whatever the input we are giving, that comes to output. So this Y need to support Z condition also. When it is disabled, Y should be Z. So I need to declare this Y as a try. Try has 4 values, one is 0, 1 and Z. So output this should be declared as Y. Then assign Y equal to DR. DR, this is express this one operator. Okay. During the operators, we will see this conditional operator. Based on this, DR is 1 means after this question mark, whatever the expression or value we are giving, that comes assigned to output Y. Okay, when DR is 0, it takes the false. After this colon, whatever you are mentioning, that comes to output Y. You will see an example for this. In this EDF diagram, right hand side you can write your design, and in left hand side you can develop the test bench. So automatically this design.sv is linked with the test bench.sv. If you want to, if you use or create any new file, okay, here you need to include that file here. Then here you need to choose Verilog class system Verilog to write the Verilog coding. Here you can write the design. Here I am implementing continuous assignment and an R. So module name and end module. This is general syntax you need to follow for your design. Module name, end module. Here you should mention the port list. What are all the input and outputs you are using that you need to mention here, and you can declare inputs are A, comma B. Then outputs should be declared as YL. Plus here I am going to use continuous assignment. Default the output are wire. If you want, you can explicitly declare as wire. For wire and wire, you need to declare. Else it is considered as wire only. C1 we declared, C2 also we declared. And assign C equal to A and B. We are performing AND operation here. And here C2 we declared as WR. So we are performing OR operation. Here we are performing AND operation because it is declared as W AND. Then this is test bench to verify this design. So while writing the test bench, this is the top. Test bench is on top of the design. So you just declare, just to mention the module name. That's enough. No need to pass any port list or mention the ports here. Just write module name, end module. Within that, you need to declare the signals which you declare as output here, that you should declare as a wire, and the input AB that you need to declare as. Later I explain detail about test bench. Now in this example to show how this wire and wire R is behaving. And I pass the inputs AB values. Here you need to instantiate the design. This is nothing but the module name, and you can give any name here as an instance name, and you need to map the ports. There are two types of mapping. Here I use the map based on the position. Here I mentioned the position C1, C2, AB. The same position I am mentioning the variables in the test bench C1, C2, AB. You can also use the same name, small a, small b, small C1, C2, C3, or you can use different name. If you use different name, you need to map properly. Within the initial beginning, these are called procedural blocks that we will see later. Here within this initial block, I am forcing the values A and B values. First at 0 time, A is 1, B is 1, and after this is to mention the delay as 10 times delay. A value is 1, B value is 0. Then again after 10, that means from here it is 20. A value is 1, 0 and B value is 0. Then after 10, dollar finish is used to stop it or complete the simulation. Then always at A, comma B. So this always also procedural block. This is one procedural block, this is one procedural block. All happens at the same time. Here always at A, comma B in the sense when A and B value varies. Here I am changing the values. At each time, after is used for is sensitive. So each time when A and B value varies, it will enter into this block, and it will display the value of A, B, C, C1, C2. With the help of A equal to %B, I can print the value of A. %B means to print in the binary format. B equal to %B. This order we need to mention. This B will get printed. C equal to percentage B. This C will get printed for C1 for C2. This you put inside the double quote. Then order. With the same order, we need to mention the corresponding variables here. If I run this, the values A, B values are sent to the GUT, and here it performs and OR operation. The C, C1, C2 values are passed here. So that is printed with the help of $display. A1, A is 1, B is 1. So it is performing under pressure. C is output of and C1 also, and C2 is output of R. So both all are ones, and one of the input is 0 and becomes 0, and R is 1. So here both inputs are 0, so all outputs are 0. Then register discussed about continuously driven in discrete point of time. That means we are using which keyword to declare the outputs. Variable that store the value do not represent real hardware, but we can able to implement the real hardware register using which keyword, using the registers. Only one type is a reach. The output should be declared as reach. Okay, when we follow discrete point of time driven, okay, we should declare the outputs as reach A, C. C A and C are output. Then for assignment, here the declaration happens when we want to assign the values for this variable. That should be done inside the procedural block. Okay. Procedural block in the sense inside the always or initial block. So A equal to 1. I am assigning value 1 for A. Inside the procedural block, I am assigning the value. Now the next line, C equal to A. A value is 1, I assigned here. C equal to A. Now value of 1, A value is 1, that will be assigned for C. Now I make A equal to 0. So when you make A equal to 0, still at the time C value will be 1 only. Okay. I am changing the value of A, but C value will not vary. The whole value 1 only. Okay. That is the use of reach. In case if you use assign, for example, assign C equal to A, you are writing, okay, and you give A equal to 1, C value will be 1. When you make A equal to 0, C value becomes 0. Okay. If you use assign. But here, if you use reach and you give A value as 1, and next line 1 will be assigned to C. If I change the value, still the C value will be 1. It will not change to 0. Then explicitly you need to change C equal to 0 if you do. Okay. At the time only C value goes to 0. Okay. Register values are operated explicitly. So write explicitly, then only it will get changed. Then vector representation. So this is the way we can represent a vector. So this is the variable. This is a type of wire declaration. So in the left hand side of the variable, you need to declare. It is a 4-bit vector. Plus A is a 4-bit vector. Then reach 1 is 4 plus B. It is also 4-bit vector. Plus B is a 4-bit vector, and plus C is a 2-bit vector. This moving left hand side, this is called MSB, and this is called LSB position. Slice management. Now bus C equal to bus A 2 is 1. For this bus B is a 2-bit vector. For that I am assigning bus A of 2 is 1. Actually it is a 4-bit vector. I want to assign the 2-bit of bus A to this bus B, bus A to this bus C. Bus C is actually 2-bit vector. So I can able to assign only 2-bit to bus C. So I am sliced that one. From bus A 2 is 1. If I mention like this, bus A of 2 is assigned to bus C of 1 and bus A of 2, so 1 is assigned to bus C of 0. Okay. Only a particular slice of that will be assigned to bus C. If both side vector are same, for example, bus B equal to bus C, sorry, bus B equal to bus A. So bus A is a 4-bit, bus B also 4-bit. You assign like this, automatically it will assign like this. So here MSB is 1, here MSB is 3. So bus A of 3 is assigned to bus B of 1. Bus A of 2 is assigned to bus B of 2. So likewise, it will be assigned. Then integer, real data type. These are the data types. You can declare a variable with the integer, which is the 32-bit. Okay. And real is a 64-bit. Can declare as real or. So inside the procedural block in the sense inside the initial are always 1. You need to assign the values for the variable I equal to 1. Okay, you can assign like this R equal to 2.9. So it is real. So you can assign fraction, that is floating values. Okay, you can assign for real. If I assign K equal to R, real value assigned to integer, if you print, you will get a round of value. You will get like 3. You want to get in the fractional form because it is assigned to integer. So integer can hold a whole number only. So if you print that value 2.9, when you assign this 2.9 to K integer, if you print, you will get 3.1. If it's below 2.5, you will get 2. If it's above 2.5, you will get 3. Time data type. Time is data type. It's a special data type for simulation time measuring. So declaration. My time is nothing but a variable that is declared as a time data type. Use inside the procedures. So inside the procedural block, can assign values for this my time data type. So $time is a system task that helps to get the current simulation time. It's not a real time. Current simulation time will capture and it will assign to my time. Simulation run at the simulation time, not a real time. Then arrays. This is the general syntax. Okay. Integer is a type. Count is a variable. If you mention the size of this count in the right side of the variable, that is the array. If you mention in the left side, that is called a vector. If you mention inside right side of the variable, that is called array. So here we have 5 locations like count of 1, count of 2. Each location can hold an integer value. Okay. This is the another declaration, which VAR minus 15 is 16. The total location 32 locations are there, minus 15 to 16. Example, VAR of minus 15. So each location can hold a single bit because it is declared with the reach. This way you can create a memory which 7 is to 0, mem 0 is 1023. So 1024 locations are there, mem of 0, mem of 1, likewise mem of 1023. 1024 locations are there. Each location can hold a 8-bit data. Accessing array elements. If you want to access a particular memory location. For example, mem of 10. 10 location can hold 8 bits, right? Each location can hold 8 bits. Now I want to access mem of 10. I want to assign value for 10th location. So mem of 10, I can assign tick 8, 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. These 8 bits. Element subfields need temporary. To access the particular element in this field, you can't able to access directly. First, you need to get this value and you need to assign to some temporary variable that should be in 8 bit. That's it called 8 bit. So I create one temporary variable temp, which 7 is to 0 temp. It can hold this an 8 bit vector. It can hold this 8 bit. Okay. Here I assign temp equal to mem of 10. 10. Okay. So this 8 bit will be assigned to this temp. Temp is a vector. Now, if I want to access any particular position, for example, this 0 I need to access. Okay. So this whole I assign to 10. It's an 8-bit vector. Now temp of 2 that represent this is 0, temp of 0, temp of 1, temp of 2. This bit assigned to VAR of 6. VAR each location it can code. Each location can code single bit, so can code the 0 bit. String. String is a data type we don't have in Verilog, but system Verilog we have a string data type. In Verilog, how we are going to hold this character or string means each character to store or hold each character we need 8 bit. Okay. So we need to declare like this: reach 13 is 1 is nothing but the number of character we are going to use. For each character, the star indicates into 8. That means for each character we need a 8 bit. So I multiplied with 8. This is the variable string value. I declare the string value as a bridge square bracket 8 star 13 is 1. So I can here in this string value I can hold 13 characters. So to assign the string, you should represent inside the double quote. Then only it will recognize as a string. String value equal to hello Verilog. So it can store inside the string value. String value, if I mention hello, here actually 13 characters it can hold. If I mention less characters, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 characters only I am assigning. So the remaining MSB will be filled with 0. Here string value equal to here space also considered as a one character. I am space overflow. Now it is more than 13 characters. So if I assign more than 30 characters, MSB position will get truncated. So when I print, I will get only an overflow. Then instead the characters, this slash n, that these things we are using in the display. Okay, if I want to print in a new line, I can use this hashtag. Then slash t is used to print in a new tab. That means not a new tab, is give some space between, for example, a value is printed. If I use slash t, it will print by giving some tab space. Operators, we will discuss that.